So how many people do you know that are walking around, they're alive, but they're not actually really alive inside? They're walking around numb, and their ability to experience life is this small little window of existence. It's this feeling of being dead inside. Our ability to sense, our ability to feel is actually our birthright. It's how we were born into this world. And I told you that I was probably like you guys, all of us here, we're probably very sensitive beings when we were young. Maybe you're still a sensitive being now, and that's a good thing, because that is our birthright, is to feel the full spectrum of this life experience. To be sensitive is actually to be full of sense. It's actually to be full of sensory awareness. The opposite of sensitivity is actually numbness. And so we have a sort of pain killer epidemic in our world right now, where people are numbing themselves. And you think about our body, our soul was not meant to sit behind a desk for 9 to 5 for 40 hours a week. At that point, I probably would want something to numb myself from the pain of my existence and the pain of my actual reality at that point as well. And so the pain, the actual negative feeling, is an intelligent response as well too. That pain is the thing that creates a catalyst, creates change. And so when we are numbing ourselves from feeling the pain, we actually miss out on feeling the bad thing that actually is the catalyst for us to change the direction of our life. And so I'll get back to it. Our somatic sensation, our ability to feel both the highs of life and the lows of life, that is our birthright. That is how we were born into the world. And when we cut ourselves off from feeling some of the lows, we cut ourselves off from feeling some of the highs. And then we live in this very narrow window of existence. And Peter Levine has coined this as sort of the living death. Although trauma, not many people have died necessarily directly from trauma. If it's left unattended, it slowly diminishes our quality of life. It has been coined as a living death. So how many people do you know that are walking around, they're alive, but they're not actually really alive inside? They're walking around numb, and their life and their ability to experience life is this small little window of existence. It's this feeling of being dead inside. And so to become sensitive is to become full of sensory awareness. It's to become full of life. The more sensitive you are, the more alive you actually are. Now, the more sensitive you become, the more boundaries you actually need for yourself to protect that sensitivity. When we have these long-term chronic instinctual defenses activated, it starts to drain our energy. So I talk about that numbness is actually an active process. Think about this. It takes energy from your system to maintain a state of being numb. And I'll give this example. So in body work, we had a term that was called parasitic tension. Most of us have a lot of parasitic tension. If you have tension in your neck, your shoulders, your traps, most of us have neck shoulder tension. I would assume most people have what we could call it knots in your shoulders. And so that it takes energy from your system to actually contract that muscle. It takes energy from your system to actually stay in a contracted state. And that energy is draining on your ability to repair yourself on a cellular level. That energy is draining you from being able to actually show up in the world, to have energy to connect with your family, your friends. It actually takes all of your energy to maintain a state of numb. You could think of human beings as a memory card. We only have so much capacity. We only have so much time on this planet. We have only so much time in our life. And when you get filled up with defense systems, triggers, trauma responses, all of these different things, it starts to take up space on your memory card. And then you're only left with this much space left to actually utilize that energy in how you want to show up in the world, what you want to do with your life. Allowing people to discharge a lot of these defense systems, it actually frees up more energy for them to repair on a body level, to also have the mental and physical energy to actually live a life that is, of value, to live out your potential. There's a lot of ways you could say that, but everybody's different, and there's some semantics, and we would have to define too many terms.